It is currently the morning of the 2nd of August, 2024. I'm meteorologist Robert Speta, and let's talk about the tropics. Of course, our disturbance moving over Cuba at this time. It is going to be moving out into the Gulf of Mexico and likely will be named as we go ahead into Saturday, with the National Hurricane Center giving it nearly a 100% chance of tropical development out here. We still have some questions on exactly how strong it could get and where exactly it would go, but it does look like the main topic is going to be it being a rainmaker across the Florida Peninsula, and eventually could even head off towards the north and east, impacting parts of the Carolina coastline. Now let's talk about where it is as of our Friday morning. Moving right over Cuba here. Center of circulation actually just towards the north of the island here, south of the Bahamas. But you really just see the hills, especially on the eastern side of Cuba, fairly high out here, disrupting it with convection down towards the south into the Caribbean Sea. And then you have that moisture on the northern side of it. And really this is going to keep it disrupted, at least through our Friday, heading into Saturday, until it starts to move out towards the Florida Strait here around the Keys. And that's where I do believe it's going to start to get its act together just a bit more. But the satellite imagery can just continue to see even after Hispaniola, as it just kind of got just ravaged by the mountains here, and we're still continuing to see that. So once it does start to organize, we get that low-level center, where could it go? Well, first off, it all depends on where that low-level center is going to form after it pushes over the islands here. Towards the south, could see this push a little bit further towards the west, but it looks like it could start to develop just south of the Florida Keys here and eventually pull towards the north. Some guidance taking us onshore just across southwestern Florida, right around the Naples area, and then moving across the Florida Peninsula, while others kind of push it a little bit further towards the west. This exact track is kind of important here. Now, I do believe there's a big rainmaker, but the longer it lingers in the Gulf of Mexico over these very warm waters, the higher the chance for this to continue to strengthen up to tropical storm, or maybe even stronger than that. But if it comes on shore right away, that does cut it off from that fuel source, that moisture in the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, and that will cause it to kind of remain at a weaker intensity. Still a big rainmaker here, but it really just depends on how long it lingers over those warm waters as this pulls off towards the north. So a slower churn, potentially a stronger setup here. This guidance, our in-house high-resolution model, kind of showing you what I'm talking about. That center pushing John Shore just south of Tampa, and then moisture on the right side, the dirty side, being the big topic, with heavy rainfall across central and, yes, in the northeastern areas of Florida and southeastern Georgia across the first coast. Also, the dirty side of a storm, you have to remember, if we do get these bands that do start to sit up, these could have potential tornadic activity in them too. So rain and that possibility of tornadoes if we do see this edge just towards the west of the first coast. You kind of get on that dirty side, and even down towards the Orlando area and all the way back towards Miami, something we want to continue to watch out for. But I think this is specific for the first coast. Those rainfall totals could add up in over 3 inches, with the heaviest being here on our Sunday night heading into Monday morning. But all of it has to depend on this trough passing towards the north, our high pressure ridge that's going to be moving in, and how that's going to interact with that exact track as this moves off towards the north and east. But likely a named storm as we go ahead through this week. And of course, we're going to continue to track it and how exactly it's going to interact with that trough towards the north, when exactly that churn towards the northeast will take place, and how long it lingers over the Gulf of Mexico. But it looks more and more like a big rainmaker across Florida. Potential for tornadoes this weekend, and even some gustier conditions along our coast. Next named storm is Debbie, and of course we'll continue to keep you posted here at First Coast News, at firstcoastnews.com, at our Hurricane Central portal. I'm meteorologist